Hey wrestling fans, this is Rick Blade telling you to tune in with BJ and DG, best wrestling talk on YouTube.
Welcome back, everybody. BJ here, DG over there.
Who am I again now? Did somebody discuss a gimmick change? You know, am I I'm DJ now?
DG.
What's going on, everybody? Sometimes, as always, Chef the Ref below.
How's everybody doing today?
Here, not to attempt to call the action, but miss everything along the way.
What'd I miss? I didn't see nothing I missed.
And see, there it is. Can't
Guess I
call
missed
it
it
if you don't see it.
Exactly.
Tara in the chat, who has been a regular first commenter recently.
Yeah.
How you doing? I hope everything's good with you. I know you're going through some stuff right now. Hope all is good. But yeah, hey Rep, you going to do your job?
Oh yeah, sure. I guess I might as well. Yeah, let's ring the bell and start this thing. Now the timekeeper would do their job.
Well, you know, the timekeeper was off at looking at something on their phone, some like TikTok or something. I don't know. Was watching some Mike
sense.
Rome game.
Timekeeper TikTok.
Was watching. You know, watching those Mike Rome videos of him finding a place to take a nap and just getting completely destroyed.
Yes, I did.
But yes, gentlemen, there was some very fun wrestling, some really good stuff this week. A couple surprises along the way.
Indeed.
One big one being in AEW, which I guess we will kick off with.
Let's do it. I'll allow it.
Oh, nice. You stole Mills Lane line there. I use it a lot too.
Don't we all?
So just to set up before we get into the match, because this is what kicked off Dynamite this week, the whole video segment in the beginning of the show with the Young Bucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
hey,
that
the
was
world's greatest place, the casino. And where'd all the money go? The casino.
Now, the reason I really bring that up, because that whole thing was great seeing, I think it was Nick.
Yeah, it
who
was Nick
gambling.
losing the money. Yeah.
Yeah. Get through that whole thing. And then I think we go to commercial. We come back, and they already have the Bucks in the ring, and it comes up the broke Bucks.
Yep.
Oh, man.
That.
As long as there's no Fagogeddon, I'm okay.
Hey, I'm cool with there being a Fago Armageddon at the school.
No, I'm not.
Because you got to clean it up.
Bingo. But, so the opening match after that was Kenny Omega and the AEW Tag Team Champions Brodito versus the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander. Which was a good kickoff to the show. I'm kind of been burnt out on the 6-man tag format or just the multi-man format when watching AEW lately. It seems like they've been leaning on it a lot.
Yeah.
I was disappointed when I found out that was the first match, but within like 5 minutes, I was in. I was on board.
Yeah. A lot of great spots. Like, great job to all those. I loved the Macarena spot. That was just fun. Like, I love the difference of when you get to see you guys go out there just having fun.
Yeah.
But
giving the people what they want.
Yeah, the real story, though, is after the match. You get Omega tries talking to the Bucks, and then Josh Alexander attacks him. They start beating him down. And then we get Jurassic Express coming out to make the save.
Yep.
Which, it's really nice to hear that theme music again. I kind of missed it. Like the pop of the crowd, you know.
They don't get us the copyright.
Yeah, you only get a couple cords before that happens.
Tony bought that one a long time ago. I'm sure they still got the same deal.
And we even have a little bit after they make the save between Jack Perry and Kenny Omega because they have a past.
Mm-hmm.
You know, eventually all that calms down. Omega gets on the mic, puts over AEW for the 6 years. He says his goodbye, and the lights go out.
And when
A
the
couple
lights
seconds.
come back on,
Yeah, a man in a black mask, which, if you watch enough of wrestling between AEW and WWE in the past 10 years, roughly around that time frame, you instantly know it's Andrade, who has now returned to AEW. He attacks Kenny Omega. And not only that, he is the newest member of the Callis family.
yeah, can't really be surprised by that part. With
I
him being aligned with Don Callis.
I kind of am, because I was kind of hoping, because isn't there history with LFI and all that stuff?
Yeah, there was, but I mean, Callis throws enough money at him. Sure, that makes up for everything.
I mean, he's essentially just building his own new world order. But that's another conversation for another time. Reactions to Andrade's return.
As soon as the lights went out, I knew it. And just so menacing with the mask and just slowly taking it off. Very nice.
Yeah, well done return. Hopefully he gets a little more done this run in AEW, and especially more than he had in his last WWE run there.
Well, in the, afterward, the way it really seemed like they're going to give him a lot more of a push now.
Hope
I
so.
mean-
But that Callis family's getting big. He might get lost even just in that faction.
I mean, let's be honest. There's some really good stuff going on. Like I was able to watch. I was home last night. Didn't watch Collision. Honestly, I kind of forgot about it until I looked at the time and saw it was 10 o'clock. Was like, oh yeah, Collision's on. Oh well, I'll watch it tomorrow on Max. And the Max app was giving me issues. I almost didn't see the final hour of it.
Oh, fun.
That wouldn't be anything new.
Yeah, AEW stuff. We're still
searching
looking
for those 30 minutes.
Yeah, they're somewheres around.
Yeah, who knows? Always Collision.
But yeah, I kind of wish he had wore a different mask so it wasn't as obvious. Because my first thing I was like, oh, a mask, and then I looked at the mask. I'm like, oh, it's Andrade.
Well, I mean, why wear a different mask? That's part of his persona.
No. I just mean like something else. Like it's not the instant, but I guess that's more.
But you want the instant. As soon as those lights come on, the people who recognize that mask, they're going to be like, "Oh, okay." And for everyone who doesn't instantly recognize that mask, as soon as he takes it off,
You get that second
Andrade.
pop.
And for anyone who doesn't know Andrade anyway, then it's just like,
no. I get it. I just mean like, just in the sense that since majority of wrestling fans would know, like, yeah, that's the pop in itself. Like, oh. But just where you get that really big pop of the lights going out, everybody going, and then it's just something you don't recognize right away, and then that comes off. Because then I guess it's just me, I recognize it more with him coming out for a match wearing it, more than just a lights out pop up type thing, it was excellent though, very well done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm looking
well
forward to whenever Kenny Omega returns again for another match, for how that, which I guess at the moment, Wrestle Dream in 2 weeks.
Most likely. They're doing that same deal where you can get it on the HBO Max app for $10 off.
Yes. Another thing I really enjoyed from Dynamite this week. The Mark Briscoe promo that followed that. That really gave me CZW and then Ring of Honor when him and his brother broke up vibes. But I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Like,
As much as I do enjoy some comedy in my wrestling, Mark Briscoe, I feel like is always better when he's got that hard edge to him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like it takes everything with him to a different level. Like when he hasn't really had that since he lost his brother. Obviously, that'll, he wanted to change things up at that point, go a little bit more lighthearted with his character and everything.
well, I mean,
he did that,
not
but now
just
he's
that.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So,
Sorry.
but now it seems like he's ready to head back towards that other side and redevelop that hard knife edge that he had back in the day, and he's going to start bringing that back into focus.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I've always seen Mark Briscoe, even when he was doing some of the funny stuff and everything, that when he got in the ring, it was almost like that switch flipped. But then MJF just added juice to it. Like, this is what like that feud, it was almost like it pushed him back to that level, that he had to go to that point. And I don't think him and MJF feud is over anyway. I think we're still going to get at least one more match out of it.
We have to. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like MJF did push him back to that level, but it also means that it almost feels like he was pulling his punches a little bit when he was doing the more shticky side of the thing. So, like he didn't really have that edge that drove him to be where he was at that top level and winning championships and just being that badass Briscoe that he was. And he just kind of lost that for a bit. But now if he's back there, I'm back in. Not that I was out, but I'm like, yeah, okay, Briscoe's back.
All I gotta say is, regardless of what version, I would still follow that man through the gates of hell.
Absolutely.
Yes, Kyle. Yes, Kyle.
Yeah.
F you, Kyle. F you, Kyle. There's a moment of I'm about to say, there's a random moment that has no context whatsoever. But
yeah.
Which,
all right,
speaking
back
of
to context.
Yes. Speaking of Kyle's, after that we had the TNT Championship match with Kyle Fletcher defending against Orange Cassidy. Another good match.
Another theme song I can't get enough of hearing again.
I mean, I'm an OC fan. I call him my Deadpool of wrestling.
Yeah, I could see that.
But
not so much. Deadpool tries to be funny. Orange Cassidy does the opposite. He just doesn't.
All right, so it's not more in the humor of it. It's more in the fourth wall break. Like, think about it. Guys have to sell and do something with those lazy kicks, right? All his little antics in the ring, it breaks the fourth wall. And for the smart fans who know, it's like, haha, that's funny. As compared to the fans who take it incredibly too serious.
Mm-hmm.
As, oh, this is horrible. That's not, like, wrestling's always had its side for this. Orange Cassidy just happens to be one who got super over with it. Like, you want to talk about ridiculous gimmicks? Let's talk about the Honky Tonk Man and that Intercontinental title reign, right?
What was ridiculous about that?
Just the entire thing, but it was fun to watch. It was in the 80s when it was also an age where gimmicks were everything. But to me as a kid, it was always a bit of a ridiculous gimmick, but it was a fun, ridiculous gimmick.
He was just an Elvis impersonator. That was like a common thing back then.
It's a common thing now.
Yeah, so like, I don't think it was all that.
Well, that's okay. Good. I'm just saying, it was a bit ridiculous to me, but I'm not saying it was bad by any means. But, like, you could look at, like, when Finley and Hornswoggle were paired together. Like, that whole thing was absolutely ridiculous because it turned Finley into a comedy guy. But it was still good. It was just ridiculous, Adam Rose and the Rosebuds. Absolutely ridiculous. But very enjoyable. And JBL's hate of the bunny. that stands out for that entire gimmick for me is how much JBL hated that bunny. He had a full on. If that bunny appeared today, he would jump the crowd and give it a clothesline from hell. Finally, all right. But anyway, back on topic here. Back on topic of the 6th anniversary AEW show.
Ah, right.
Kyle Fletcher ends up retaining with an assist from looks to be Hologram.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, evil hologram.
The clone.
Yeah, clonogram.
Yeah, is this really hologram? Because definitely wearing holograms like not fluorescent, but holographic gear. But with black underneath.
We have Paragon and Briscoe coming out to make the save, and then Clonogram also joins the Callis family. I guess once you're Callis family, you're Callis family for life. Like I can't look at and not think of the NWO when literally more than half. It's like
we're coming up on the Jackal Pack.
The Jack, yeah. Like this thing needs a new name, you know.
That actually, maybe not now, maybe at the end of the show, but like that would be a fun exercise to like kind of see where the parallels are between the Callis family and the NWO.
Well, right now the best I can make of it, because Don Callis has no real power like Eric Bischoff did, that it's more of seeing how many members of that roster there are. Like when it was like 6 or 7 people, it was like, all right, cool, because everybody's split doing their own thing. But now we're seeing 3-man teams come out of this within the faction.
Right.
We're seeing so many, it's being overloaded. And just as Chef said earlier when we were talking about Andrade, yeah, he's being paired with Omega, but what happens after that? Because you have Kyle Fletcher, who has world title aspirations. You have Okada and Takeshita, who have issues within themselves still.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of inner turmoil, if I can get the word out, with this group.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's only a matter of time before it self-destructs, and we just get back to the core members. Or we see somebody like Kyle Fletcher, like, you guys are holding me back now. I might still have this championship, but that's because of my talent, not because of anything else.
Yeah, and he could go off like form an MJF style faction of his own.
Yeah, and then we have Mercedes Moné backstage interview in which Harley Cameron appears with the Mercedes puppet. Harley Cameron was all over Dynamite this week.
She's an MVP.
Like, I'm not going to say she's underutilized, just that she's not utilized enough. The spots they have her in are absolutely great, but I've seen her in-ring work, and it's getting better, and why she isn't in the ring more, considering how over she is with the crowd, is absolutely mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, she could easily be teamed up with somebody and, you know, make some noise in a women's tag division there, which they're going to need people for that eventually, because they're going to have the shiny new belts to defend.
Oh, which I can't wait, because this is long overdue. I feel like 3 years ago, well before the beginning of this show, that I was having conversations with people about, hey, it looks like they're pairing everybody up, because we had Toni Storm, Saraya, and Ruby Soho together as a group. Who just started feuding for the title. They, again, inner turmoil because of championships, which is what's going to happen with the Callis family. But anyway, you know, it felt like they were gearing up for it then, and then they just backed off. Which I don't kind of blame them, because with attendance dwindling, maybe you build temporary interest, and then things just go back to where they were. Because if you look at, they willingly run small buildings now.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen them doing a bit bigger arenas recently, which at some point is something I think TNA is going to get to. Because it seems like they're right on the cusp of being able to do that now.
Yeah. Once AEW, went to the downsized buildings, you get more people percentage-wise in the building, so it's more impressive for TV and sounds better and everything. So, yeah, that's fine. That's a good way to go, honestly. I think that's something we said they should have been doing when they were playing in the larger ones, and they had entire areas tarped off, and there were just terrible pictures circulating online.
Well, see, here's my thing with that. I feel like that was a bit more bad management on their part. They saw it and they thought it would bounce back, and it did it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, the way they did it, and it didn't help that fans online were pushing this narrative that it was no. They're still a growing company. WWE's been around 50 some years now.
Something like that, maybe more.
I mean, even longer if we go back to WWF days.
Yeah.
When Vince's father owned the company, and they were all part of one big global thing where they traded talent all the time before the indies started getting bought up.
Yeah.
Or the territories, whatever, indies.
Mm-hmm, the territory days, yep.
So, overall, it's a good thing with these titles coming. But this Mercedes Moné interview interests me because they're doing this. AEW's doing this like tour of Florida right now, and Mercedes for next week challenged anybody from Florida because I think they're in Daly's place next week for Title Tuesday.
Yeah, Jacksonville. Yep.
Yeah.
Got it. Lana.
Well, online I've seen the rumors circulating Dakota Kai.
Okay.
Is she from Florida, or does she? Well, she lives there now, I guess. So, but yeah, she's not originally from Florida, but if she lives there, why not? Sure.
What is Lana's real name?
CJ Perry.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Yeah. Watch CJ Perry.
Well, that was where we saw her last, when she was Andrade's manager, and that whole thing with him and Miro, not Rusev.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of interested to see who that would be. Because if AEW and Tony Khan, just with him stopping saying everything's a big announcement, and we were getting some of these surprises a bit more naturally, like, they come off better. Like Andrade's return popped me this week.
Yeah.
Because once I realized Max, I was like, ooh, no, since he was straight up fired with no 90-day.
Right.
He was able to go work right away. Very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so next match on AEW was the Ops and Adam Page facing the Death Riders. Good match. Was pretty much what you expect from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fine.
The Ops and Adam Page win, but what happens after the match is the more interesting part, because now we have Joe getting in Adam Page's face for no reason whatsoever besides that championship.
Yep.
Yeah, pull apart.
Which later on in the show, we had an interview with Samoa Joe, and we have it officially announced at Wrestle Dream, Adam Page defends the championship against Samoa Joe.
Sure, why not?
I love it.
Oh yeah, I'm all for it. That should be a really good match. Like, if it's one thing that AEW can deliver on, it's the matchups that we don't get to see too often, or that we've never seen.
Yeah, this isn't a matchup I had on my radar because, two babyface guys generally, you would think. I wasn't thinking Samoa Joe was looking at that championship, but I should have known better. Samoa Joe's always looking at the heavyweight championship. So, yeah, I shouldn't be surprised that he thinks he saw an opportunity and he's ready to take it. I wouldn't be surprised if Joe does take this belt off of Page, but, Hangman, he might have that cowboy stuff and manage to pull it out himself.
I think Page retains, which we'll talk about this next. But just right now, my impression is, because we still have a little bit of time, Page retains. Mm-hmm. I think there's other story to go on, We
Yes.
still have the MJF contract to be
Mhm.
cashed in.
Right, and that works better against Hangman than it does against Joe.
So we could see MJF possibly interfere in that match.
He has to declare a week ahead, so he
yes,
can't just.
which I really like that they're making the difference between that and WWE's Money in the Bank. I understand the pushback of, oh, we missed that pop. Well, you know what? You're only popping for a 45-second moment at best after a match that either is a great match or that person runs in and makes it a triple threat and steals the win.
Right.
You know, it's a pop, yes. It's a moment, but if it's not done properly, you're just like Christian. That was horribly done. And I still say that Christian should have won and became champion. Like, he's done the best work he's done in years and deserves a run with that championship.
Yeah.
But the best he got since being in AEW was the TNA championship, which he lost, to Cedric Alexander or something like that?
No, he lost it to...
was not in TNA back then.
Or AEW. But he lost it to. I'm blanking on who it was, but it was definitely not.
I'm about to look.
You're furious typing.
Let's see. I'm looking it up. I'm reading it. Hold on. Wow, Google.
The thrilling. This is what you tune in for, folks. This is thrilling commentary right here.
I know that.
You good?
I'm getting there, but yeah, looking forward to that. I'm come on, scrolling. Too far.
I forgot what we were even looking up.
Yeah. Might as well get a beer.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
So anyway. What are we looking up still?
Stuff and things.
Yes, but what stuff and things? Because I literally don't remember what we were looking up.
Okay, no. So, interesting. Very interesting, if that's correct. He dropped it back to Kenny.
Okay. Lime Ghost.
And then he dropped it back in a rematch at one of the all-out pay-per-views. So then who did Kenny drop it to?
Who has it now? Kyle Fletcher, right. Okay.
The Impact Championship? Nobody.
Oh, wait, Impact? I thought we were talking about the... wait, we're on Impact now?
No. When we were talking about the switch of the championships.
Right, but when did we switch to the Impact Championship? Now I'm confused.
We flowed there in conversation when we were talking about when Christian beat
Oh, we were
Kenny
talking about
for
the TNT belt.
No, we were talking about the World Championship, actually. We were talking about
so
Paige
damn
and Joe.
confused right now.
Yes, we can see that. But anyway, moving on. Let's see. We had Toni Storm, Ty Mello, and then Toni Storm wanting her rematch.
Yep.
Which she will be getting, and I'm looking. I think that's actually going to be a good match, her and Statlander.
Should be one-on-one. Yeah. So I'm fully down for that match.
You know what? I was just looking up Kenny Omega stuff, and I didn't know Kenny Omega actually did MMA.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Overall 4-3 record, but Hey.
Still better than CM Punk.
Yeah. And
Oh, God. That's another conversation for another time for sure.
Or should I say
Jeez.
better than Phil Brooks? Now, was Kenny's MMA like real MMA, or was it the Japanese like MMA pancrase where it was kind of might have been predetermined, but we're not really telling you if it was or not MMA?
No. This all his fights were here in the United States.
Okay.
Yeah, he lost his first fight and then won 4 straight, and then lost his last 2.
Okay.
He did it from October 2005 to July 2008.
oh wow.
So interesting
time
Kenny
ago,
Omega
like
fact
20
for
years
anybody.
ago.
Yeah. If somebody
right.
had asked me in trivia, did Kenny Omega ever do MMA fighting, I would have said no.
And you would have been wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be damned.
I'll be damned.
Rich Swann. That's who I was thinking of. He dropped the title to Rich Swann.
Who did?
Kenny Omega, when he had the Impact Championship, when the AEW was working with TNA.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot
And
that happened.
That's what we've been talking about.
Well, we finally figured out that that's what we've been talking about.
You know, we
Right.
could have still moved on while I was looking up, and I would have segued back to it. But, here we are.
Yeah, man, we've just been in a holding pattern.
Yeah, seriously.
That's right. I needed to refresh my journey.
We
Yeah,
had
there
the
you go.
demand, the Gates of Agony defeat Lee Johnson and Blake Christian.
As expected.
After the match, a Hurt Syndicate came out and challenged the demand to a 3-on-3 street fight. The demand
Sure.
accepts. So we have these multi-man matches and teams, and no mention of the Trios Championships. Who are the Trios Champions right now?
Death Rider still?
No.
Yep, there goes the clicking.
Wow, and we've already talked about them.
Did we? Oh, it's
Yeah,
the ops.
Right.
Right.
Guys, we are highly misinformed this week.
We've already determined we are the wrestling show on the internet that watches the least amount of wrestling, so.
And somehow I watch it all. That's the worst part.
This is a wrestling.
There's something called that out there, other than the independent stuff that we actually, go to.
The real question is, what's wrestling?
This is wrestling.
Indie wrestling? As in
Can't
Wait, what do we got? 2 weeks? No, 20 days. 3 weeks.
Yes.
PWU studio session, or what's it called? Haunted. PWU.
Yes.
It's called something.
On the wing?
Afternoon.
Yes. Saturday afternoon show.
Yes.
Yeah, the grudge match between Kid Legend and Face. Yeah, we saw them grudge it all the way out of the ring into the back of the last show, so now they'll grudge it out in front of us.
And as you saw announced, if you had watched our review show, while we were interviewing him, Pat Dynamite defending the Silver Championship in a Halloween street fight against challenger Declan Grant.
PWU original Declan Grant.
These guys have no love lost between them. Pat Dynamite has a jealous hold on that belt. Declan Grant, he's going to have a tough time getting it off of him.
And then, if you were at the last show, or saw it online when it was streaming, and after the back seats turned on Johnny Cashmere, there was a confrontation between current champion Rick Blade and JP Grayson, and now they will be having a world title match with Rick effing Blade defending the PWU championship against J.P. Grayson.
Yeah, Blade going to have his work cut out for him, but so is JP.
Yeah, it's going to be something.
And will Rick have his manager with him?
Will JP have people with him?
Which, speaking of managers and something else that transpired, as it seems the backseats have teamed up with Helter Skelter.
Seems to be a nice wad of envelope passed between them.
Yes, indeed. And
the
also,
Gumar, Angel Orsini.
Yes. I wasn't able to get the graphics on here. I'm going to be honest, I kind of forgot. But there are others. GQ
many others.
who is a PWU original, will be returning.
Nice.
Zach Amico will be making his debut, and if you do recognize that name, you would recognize it from JCW announce team for Lunacy and all their shows.
Yes.
Sassy Boatwright returns. She was with the one tagged J George.
Yeah, Jay George and Boom Harden last time. Yep, she was their manager.
Also returning, member of the Order 4 and TNA, current PWU Women's Champion Tasha Steeles.
Oh, yeah.
PWU alum Phil Stamper
Angel
will be making his return.
Angel Orsini did put that whole division on notice. Is she maybe going to try and come out for Tasha this time? I don't know. We'll see.
I guess we'll see. And also, as you saw in this graphic, the debut of the Zombie King. Tickets on sale now. PWUnplugged.com.
Use your brains. Get tickets.
Right in Mount Holly, 22 King Street at the Pro Wrestling Star Academy.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about the main event of Dynamite, shall we? We had Darby Allin and Chris Statlander taking on Death Rider members Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir. And boy, was this a freaking match.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. That was a hell of a match right there. Just crazy action all over the place.
The one thing for me was the thumbtacks in the bottom of Marina Shafir's foot.
Yeah. I'm watching it in real time, and I literally, when she did that, I picked my feet up off the floor when that happened. Just
I'd rather step on Legos.
Depends on which shape of Lego, but yeah, maybe.
Nope, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Any Lego I would rather step on than a bunch of thumbtacks.
Sure.
I'm just saying.
Basically, caltrops there. I gotta say though, that's a little bit Marina's fault because she's wrestling in just bare feet with a little bit of tape in the middle of them there. So, I mean, you know, you had to expect your feet would be targeted at some point. And once your feet are targeted, you ain't doing much after that.
Yeah. But after that match is very interesting too, because get back to my notes real quick. I changed tabs. After the match, Darby Allin gets attacked, being choked out with his own belt or whatever. Very Justin Roberts, Bryan Danielson, Nexus vibes there.
Yep.
And we get Mox out, accepting the challenge for an I Quit match at Wrestle Dream. And if it's one thing I will say that you have to book correctly for an I Quit match, two guys who you could never imagine saying the words I quit.
Yeah.
Well, these are two guys who I can't imagine saying I quit.
And I really think that something I've kind of speculated on was Renee somehow getting involved in this storyline.
Yeah.
And if Mox won't quit, maybe Darby's going to have put Renee in danger to force him to say I quit. It's a bit of a heel move, but has John Moxley pushed Darby Allin to that point now? Darby Allin has attempted to light this guy on fire.
Yeah. Will he now attempt to light his wife on fire?
It's definitely an interesting thing to see and how all that's going to play out. But overall, Dynamite's 6th anniversary show, 2 thumbs up. And we're going, and they're going with Title Tuesday this week directly up against NXT and TNA Showdown.
Yep. So that's why I have a DVR.
I'm not sure if I'm going to have both on, but I probably will because it's me. It just makes it harder to take notes, but
I can't watch NXT live anyway, so I'm definitely watching Dynamite live.
There you go. I have off on Wednesday, actually, this week, so I will be able to catch up. Maybe I'll just watch AEW on Wednesday just so the world feels more right.
But before we get into talking about NXT and the upcoming NXT TNA crossover, I'd like to talk about with TNA, what's the future of the Elegance brand now? We kind of talked about it last week with Ash making the announcement of having to drop the title and them crowning a new champion that night, and then moving the Knockouts tag team titles to this week. And
this week, we had that titles match with the Inspiration versus the Elegance brand, and your new TNA Women's Tag Team Champions, the Inspiration. Congratulations to them, first off. But where does this leave the Elegance brand? They now have Ash is sidelined, the personal concierge. Will he be able to hold Heather and M together? Do Heather and M even want to be held together in this Elegance brand? What does this mean for them? I personally want to see this brand continue. This is actually a gimmick that has clicked for all of these women. It has elevated every one of these women, including Ash. As Dana Brooke in WWE, as Dana Brooke, she was fine. She was a competitor. She was in the women's division. She came to TNA, though, and she found a character that definitely worked. This is something that finally connected, that was a little bit different, but had a little bit similar roots to some other stuff that we've seen, but it was different enough that it had its own personality to it. And now she was building a whole brand and faction based off of it, and who knows where that was going before this medical issue that we've got now, and Ash is just out, and hopefully that doesn't mean the end of the Elegance brand.
So yes, the relation with Ash by Elegance characters started and everything, dropping stuff. There was a lot of relation to, because that was about the same time Timeless Tony Storm started, and
yes,
and at first there were similarities to the gimmick, kinda, but as it branched off, it did become its own. Oh yeah, heavily, which was a good thing because they were able, which I think was always the plan, because we also related to it, because at the time that all that started, we still had Mariah May, now Blake Monroe, paired with Tony Storm still.
Yes. So Mariah having the moniker of the Glamour didn't help with the Elegance, Glamour, Elegance, that whole relationship between those two words.
Yeah. But as we saw, the whole thing grew, and it was really over, and now it's kind of a thing where they have to sit back and figure out what to do. I could see this team either having some type of split up or a complete change in the gimmick. Like maybe they just slowly move away from that, because even their gear this week wasn't the typical same gear that they would usually wear.
Yeah, it looked more jumpsuitish, orange and purple, white and black kind of mixed in together in it. It wasn't a very elegant look, you could say, for the ring.
Yeah.
It was more almost not utilitarian necessarily, but more so. Uh, it- but yeah, it definitely did not look like their usual style. It looked like they were maybe going to try and develop a little more of an edge in Ash's absence, but I don't know.
Personally, where I wouldn't mind seeing some turmoil for a bit, maybe to the point where they start feuding with each other.
Okay.
And then if Ash is able, because like you'll have the concierge there trying to keep them from butting heads, and eventually it gets to a point where it just has to happen. Like we
Concierge
built
is
up.
referee.
Yeah, the concierge is
like-
refereeing between them. Yes.
Yeah, something like that. Like if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be him. And it's all going to be done in house type deal. And maybe you have Ash return at some point down the road. Be like, look, I left. We were all champions. What happened? You know, and maybe as something that me and Chef talked about, she kind of steps in as like the CEO of the brand now.
Starts
You know,
building her faction of women, or even bringing some male models, should I say?
If their contract is with Ring of Honor / AEW, I think they would be the perfect fit for that game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Even though I do like what they did on Collision this week, I thought that was entertaining.
Yes, teaming up with the TV, Johnny TV.
I really love, but it's AEW as well, real quick. I really love what the Outrunners and Dalton Castle have been doing the last couple weeks. Very highly entertaining. You guys take it away, and I guess continue speculating on that some, and give me a moment. I gotta go to catering.
Okay.
All right.
So, BJ, where would you like to see the Elegance brand go from here?
I'd like to see him continue without Ash until I keep wanting to call her Dana Brooke. It's so hard to break myself.
Understood.
Until she's ready to come back, if she's ready to come back. And, you know, that is a concept that I hadn't thought of that you guys brought up about her being kind of like the CEO and just, you know, kind of adding talent, you know, being like a Don Callis or like a, you know, an MVP and just being like the mouthpiece, maybe occasional wrestler.
Right. And she kind of uses the personal concierge as her right-hand man and has him do whatever she needs him to do with the individual wrestlers at any given time. And yeah, she just builds out a nice little stable that she can get decorated in gold. Yes, Rick. I think that is a winning plan.
And I think Mason Mansour would work really well in that faction.
Oh God, would they?
If they were to do that, yeah.
Absolutely.
It would be absolutely amazing. Like,
Why
it's
not?
another.
We need Eli Drake in there too.
No.
No Max
No.
Dupree.
Dummy. I gotta get that soundbite. That's a soundbite
Yeah.
you need. Dummy.
Yeah.
For any
Speaking of that
soundbites
real
you need,
quick,
check. I was going to say,
I
for
think-
any soundbites you might need, My Instance is a really good site for sound clips.
All right.
Go on.
I saw the promo and I shared it on social media this week with the James Storm and Eli Drake segment where James Storm's just sitting there drinking and he starts hitting the button when he starts talking. Oh, one of those hidden gems during the Impact era.
Yeah.
Which there's a bunch of them if you could sit through it. A lot of good hidden gems. If you were to go back and actually watch the shows and not look for them on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
The show had a couple moments.
yeah. So, let's talk about NXT, shall we?
Let's.
Because I'd like to get our first wave of predictions in sometime soon.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
So,
Considering it's this week,
As
Tuesday
we all-
is the showdown.
yeah. And as we all know, originally the show for this upcoming week was supposed to be Invasion. There were some political things at play with the name, and they changed it to Showdown. So now it's NXT TNA Showdown. And I would just like to start off with saying that I don't think this is the first time that we're going to see these two shows head to head, these two brands. I think I would love for this to play out for a while and even maybe bring in some main roster stars.
Sure.
At some point, because I think there's a space for somebody like an LA Knight, especially AJ Styles and R-Truth. Like an R-Truth. I'm sorry. I don't understand how this deal's going on and nobody's talked about, like, hey, can we borrow Ron Killings for a Thursday?
Yeah.
Look.
I want to see an interaction between R-Truth and Joe Hendry.
Or even Xavier Woods.
Yeah, Consequences Creed. Yes.
Truth and Consequences.
Yes. And this is why the people don't watch. Or they do watch. I don't know. I'm just a ginger.
Truth and Consequences were a solid tag team back in the day.
Yeah, yes, they were. So we get NXT kicking off with our new NXT champion, Ricky Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Which he gets interrupted by JC Jane. And, we get a whole bunch of stuff where Ava comes out. Well, our champions are the team captains for what are going to be the men's and women's Survivor Series matches.
Yep.
Which I originally thought for some reason were going to be 5-on-5 and not 4-on-4. And I guess it's just my brain after all the years of Survivor Series matches where it changed to the 5-person format for so long. I didn't think about the idea of it. Oh, yeah, this is NXT. It could be 4.
Yeah, sure.
Just like they evolved War Games into 5 people when honestly it should be 4-on-4. Hell, I'll even go as far as to say it should be 3-on-3, but 4-on-4 with 2 rings makes more sense.
Sure.
Because you have enough space to fill it up. 5-on-5, I don't know. You could do it. It just feels more clustered.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also Then we have Santino appear during this opening segment, who announces his team captains. One being the new TNA Knockouts champion, NXT brand member and star, Kalani Jordan, is the captain of the other team. Nice little twist there.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting.
It doesn't really make much sense to me.
That was weird. Yeah, like I said, interesting.
Well, see, you know what? I would say this. It kind of makes, because the way he framed it as somebody who's proved that they can be trusted. Kalani Jordan may have done some heel stuff, but that means she's made a good first impression so far. And that, because if it was JC Jane, I think that we would have somebody else being the captain of that team.
So, but now, yeah, like we have with Trick Williams being a co-captain for the NXT, even though he has the TNA belt.
But
he is
but
not
he's
the
also
men's captain.
But he's also proved that Santino can't trust him with what he's done. So I don't blame Santino in the situation, because at that point, it's not about what brand they're necessarily representing. It's the fact that he doesn't trust his top champion to be the captain of this team. And he's looking at Trick, who's not a team player, and Kalani Jordan, who is.
Maybe.
Yes.
He doesn't really know her.
But she also has enough respect of the rest of that roster at the moment, unlike the men's, who's just gunning after Trick Williams. Outside of who I would say would be Indy Hartwell, because she has invested interest in that championship as the current number 1 contender.
Yeah. So
so that's where that turmoil.
I'm not sure that Kalani's really as trustworthy for TNA as Santino thinks.
I think she would be more trustworthy than, let's just say, if JC Jane was still the Knockouts champion.
Maybe not. Maybe Kalani's, Kalani's done heel stuff. She never really had a babyface turn back moment. This is just because she's NXT and TNA. She's like putting on this babyface image right now, and she's just waiting to flip that switch.
See, I feel like more that she started doing things, but then they just phased it out and shifted her back to being the team player, because the heel stuff really wasn't getting over as her babyface stuff was, and it had enough time to grow legs, and it just never got running. Even though because when you see her matches, too many people are a fan of her at the moment, and she hasn't built that super following to, let's say, what would have been one of the biggest heel turns in history. The Hogan heel turn. Yeah. The Hogan heel turn. And turning his back. The level of trash thrown into the ring at the time. The Tony Schiavone and his choice remark of words. As that which is one of my favorite moments of any pay-per-view ever going off the air. Is literally that. But the impact it had to where you literally make the fans have that reaction. She never really got anywhere to that because it's only the NXT crowd invested. But this is getting her more exposure to where now, let's say she did turn on. Even if she were to turn on TNA, it's brand loyalty. Like, I don't think it's necessarily a heel turn or like a heel thing as more like, hey, you know what?
Yeah, it's a little heelish, you know.
I mean, it's a little heelish, but in this situation, wouldn't you expect heel tactics from both teams to prove they're the superior brand?
From the heel players on the team, yes. I would expect it from the heel players on the team, sure.
So that still reflects the team as a whole.
Yeah, but if Kalani Jordan's supposed to not be a heel, then she deploys heel's tactics, then... You know, I'm just saying she's not as trustworthy as Santino thinks she is.
What if she pulls heel tactics and turns on NXT and helps TNA win?
That should be what she does.
Yes, absolutely. If they're going to go that route, that's what she would do because everybody would expect her to go the other way.
Right.
Absolutely.
If she's going to go full TNA, then yeah, sure, that's what she should do.
I would love to see in storyline a contract shift. That would be
like she actually gets her contract traded to TNA.
Yes.
Like full NFL trade type of deal.
Yeah.
Like they get drafted.
WWE already does it on the main roster or has in the past.
Yeah. For a wrestler to be named later.
Yes.
And it's the Big Show.
Future considerations.
But yeah, a lot of interesting things. What else? Let's see. We had a nice segment with Javon Evans, Leon Slayer, and The Calling as well, leading to which those two as a team, absolutely great.
Yep.
We had Jada Parker beating Lash Legend this week, which... I get Jada Parker. I think is going to be winning that NXT Women's title at some point.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And one of my highlights of NXT this week, Ethan Page coming out. He's talking about Dr. Wagner and all that stuff, and then we see an SUV showing up, and it's Mustafa Ali.
Yes.
Like, I think this was my favorite thing probably out of the entire week of wrestling I watched was this.
Triumphant return of the leader of Order 4.
Absolutely great. Like, the promo was absolutely amazing. I love that he talked about how he was owed a title shot because, and then he was released when he was supposed to get it.
Yep, came back for a reason, and that reason was, give me my title shot.
I love how he talked about being fired, and Ethan Page said after the match, I'm going to call you and wish you the best in all your future endeavors. That popped me more than Andrade returning to AEW.
That's a little ooh moment.
Oh. Dude, I had the full-blown, like, Leonardo DiCaprio moment. Mrs. Danger Ginger's looking at me, is like, I don't get it. And I had to explain the whole future endeavors thing. Absolutely. That stuff, I love that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Nice little Easter egg.
And I love he's getting this title shot. Mm-hmm. I would love to see him walk out with that championship.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
That worked. He deserved it, honestly.
honestly, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to put his name with another name. When it comes to not having microphone time in WWE, but all the skill in the world, Mustafa Ali in WWE was one. Ricochet was the other.
Yeah.
Who was never given the time to actually develop those skills. Mustafa Ali already had the mic skills, because even with the Nexus area, if they had given him 3 minutes with a microphone just to say why, that whole retribution angle gets over, I think. Like, just a turning point to take them in another direction, and just why they have to wear the masks, why their names were changed, even though we know who they are. You know? And Ricochet, he wasn't great on the mic at first, but week after week, all of a sudden now, you're just kind of like, he's saying the right things in the right way as it's natural to him. And as long as it comes off natural, it's going to connect, whether you're a fan of his or not. Because that's going to make you hate him, which means there's a connection there. Or it's going to make you be like, all right, I like what's going on. I don't like you, but at least I see you're improving.
Right, yeah.
And if Mustafa Ali were to win this, imagine what that does going forward. Because I think this is going to be the first of at least 2 or 3 shows combined going back and forth.
Mm-hmm. I hope Mustafa Ali wins this match. Yeah, I'm actually rooting for him in this one.
We will be talking about that soon. We have a segment backstage with the women, with JC in the locker room talking about who should be on the team and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We had a Hardy Boys video package.
Yep.
Miles Bourne and Josh Briggs was a really good match this week on NXT.
Yeah, to see who the last member of the NXT team would be.
And then another interesting thing, because we look at both we see how like kind of things are playing out for who's going to be on what team. And we have a backstage segment with Jordan Grace and Kalani Jordan. Grace trying to, gauging the waters and everything. And I forget who else came up, who was, I think, from TNA. I think it was Santana. Because Joe Hendry appears.
Yep.
And, Jordan Grace has an immense history with TNA. And there would be, I don't think, any hate on her whatsoever if she had teamed with them for this, given her history there. And neither team selects Joe Hendry or Jordan Grace because of their history, especially with Joe Hendry, who seems he's 1 foot in, 1 foot out with each brand right now. He's kind of on both brands.
Yeah. So, but Jordan and Joe were both standing there saying, we got to get on this card. We got to figure out something. So it would not surprise me if they find something for them to do this week.
Oh,
they did find something for Jordan to do.
Did they?
Yeah. She's the guest referee of the 4-on-4 women's match.
Oh,
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that announced yet. At least officially announced. I heard that that's what the plan is, but it hasn't been. So Joe Hendry could become the men's referee?
Possibly.
Sure.
It's not official yet.
But that would kind of make sense, right?
Yeah. If they both become the referees, sure.
Like 2 people who have been on both brands.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, no, I have no argument with that whatsoever. It would be pretty interesting given Joe Hendry's history with a lot of men and Jordan Grace's history with a lot of these women.
Yeah.
We had Lola Vice and Fallon Henley.
Yep, also for the last spot on the women's side in the NXT team. And, yep, Lola Vice beats Fallon Henley, much to JC Jane's dismay.
Yeah, and then after the match, we get a backstage segment with Fatal Influence and with Lainey Reed appearing, saying she was the masked person that helped JC Jane retain the championship. So it looks like Lainey Reed will be getting that 3rd spot to keep the group a trio, which, I think that's a good fit at the moment.
Yeah,
I think
Jasmine
she kind of
fits.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all saw how Jasmine Nix left the company, so yeah.
And then for our main event match, we had Javon Evans and Leon Slater defeat the Calling, which those two as a team, I'm all for it. Like, they ever end up as contract on the same brand or something, those are two people who should be paired up together.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Just so impressive.
Couple of bouncy, high-flying guys there.
Yeah. Yeah, those boys are definitely bouncy.
Yeah.
And then after the match, we have Evans and Slater celebrating. You look at they show on the Tron, the TNA roster showing up. And the NXT roster obviously meets them in the parking lot because, we know the NXT parking lot is a very, very dangerous place.
No, it's the safest place in the world, man.
No, it's really not. And then we get the announcement of all the teams. So I'm going to go with the NXT. Well, we'll go with both men's teams and then both women's teams.
Yes.
The NXT men's team, Captain Ricky Saints. No.
Trick's the co-captain.
So Trick Williams is just, oh God, why am I brain farting on his name? Oh, he's Dwight.
Go to the captains.
So yeah, we have Ricky Saints, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, and Miles Bourne.
Yep.
That's a pretty good, solid team there.
Sure.
And then the men's TNA team will be Mike Santana, Frankie Kazarian, Moose, and Leon Slater.
I like that team a little better.
So
Just
do
gotta be
I.
honest. I like that team a little better.
So do I.
Yeah, I'm picking TNA to win that.
I definitely think that's a more cohesive team than the men's NXT team. Because it's very interesting that... I'm sorry.
Ava announced on Twitter about 20 hours ago that Jordan Grace is the...
Oh, okay. Well, then I just missed that. Because the last I...
check my sources.
Oh, no. The last I checked, though, was
confirmed.
I think it was a couple days ago, the rumor came out that that's what they had planned for her. I just hadn't seen the announcement yet. And now the women's Survivor Series teams will be, for NXT, JC James, Sol Ruka, Jada Parker, and Lola Vice. And they will be taking...
team.
Yes, and they will be taking on...
Former WWE.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And current Kalani Jordan, the women's knockout tag team champions, the Inspiration,
which got spoiled by Kalani on Tuesday.
Oh God, and Mara Sadi.
Yes, Jakara. Oops, I mean Mara.
Who used to be Jakara Jackson.
Yeah, yes. That got acknowledged accidentally by Kalani.
I definitely...
Yeah, she was wearing the shirt that said "Missed Me" across the front.
Absolutely great. So now, real quick,
and as far as the women's teams, I gotta be honest, I like the NXT women's team. Like that, that is a solid squad on that NXT side. So yeah, I'm picking the TNA men's and the NXT women's.
Oh, I was just about to look up the full card because I know it's not a full card, but we can do predictions on what we know.
Let's do
I
it.
have the full announced card up here. Yeah.
All right, BJ's got it, so we can go off of that.
Yeah, men's 4-on-4, women's 4-on-4, Hardys versus Stark State, and Ethan Page, Mustafa Ali are the only announced matches so far.
All right, so I am going TNA men. I am going NXT women. I am going with Mustafa Ali to win the North American title, and I am going with the Hardys to win because they're going to want to have those titles when they're going against the Dudleys.
Let's see. Just because I do want Mustafa Ali to win that championship, but at the same time, it's going to be hard for me to think that NXT is going to lose 2 championships in the same night. That's a really tough one. But I do take the women's NXT Survivor Series match. I do take the NXT team. For the men, I'll give it to TNA.
Okay.
I'm kind of in the same predicament with the Hardys as well, knowing that the last tables match for the... Because here's the interesting thing, too. If that match is for the championships, right? What kind of happens if they lose those championships?
If the Dudleys win them, then I think
No.
If you mean if they?
If the Hardys
Then
lose,
I guess the Hardys and Dudleys is just a tables match and no belts on the line.
not that I think that match at Bound for Glory needs the tag team championships. It's a nice added bonus.
But it's the Hardys and Dudleys. We don't need belts on the line for them.
Well, I'm just saying it adds a bit.
I almost said that. Yes.
It does. It does create a bit of interest though, because you're like, what if the Dudleys do win? Even if it's only they win it and then they drop them right away. That they win their 25th World Tag Team Championship.
It would be, yes.
And also, interesting enough, it would be also two WWE contracted people with Legends deals and whatever else who would win those championships.
Yeah. Yeah, so how about that?
And it would be also interesting because if the Hardys win these championships, they would be the first tag team to ever hold every version of the WWE Tag Team Championships in their run.
Yep.
Dating back to the Attitude Era, to the original brands. Like, these teams have done it all. Like, just to see that those titles would be on the line in a match like that, just to have that tease of a what if. Or even more, the Dudleys, if they did win them, could just relinquish them right away. Like, hey, we did this, they come on the next show, and they just drop the championships. And damn it, the Commanders are winning. The Chargers are charging.
Hey, the Chargers lost to the Giants last week, so, wouldn't surprise me if they lost to the Commanders, too.
So I think, and I have a reason for this. I honestly think it's going to be a clean sweep from TNA on Tuesday.
Okay. Wow.
I think this sets the tone for NXT to crawl back from the ashes and work their way up to getting all their belts back. This will set the tone. I think TNA clean sweep.
Okay. All right, so I do agree it's about time now that everything swings back the other way. But even with the clean sweep, and we say that Mustafa Ali walks out with that championship, the Hardys walk out with the NXT Tag Team Championships. Even then, okay, cool. NXT still has your top two championships.
Right.
They're the faces.
Right.
The Hardys.
Yeah.
If out of that, I think then the one thing that happens is Ethan Page retains because it would fit his storyline more to be the only guy in NXT. Be like, hey, I did my job.
Yeah, just make him a little more arrogant.
All ego, right? All ego.
Yeah.
I feel like just in that scenario, that would fit really well.
Sure.
And I'm very torn because here's the problem. This title versus title match, I can't pick a non-finish because there has to be a winner.
Yeah.
And you know what? I do think the Hardys walk out with those championships. I really do.
Wow, we got him to commit.
I really do. I don't see how the whole Dark State thing would work.
Yeah.
Like that's just really hard. And
Unless they split up the belts and had 2 teams.
Ooh, yeah. 2 members of Dark State have one set of belts. 2 members have the other set of belts. That
I
could
would,
work.
yeah, or it's just full blown Freebird rule.
Yeah.
You get
yeah.
any 2 members defending any 2 versions of this belt.
Yeah, but each of them just gets to carry around one belt because they have
Oh,
4
yeah.
physical belts.
Yeah. So they still each get a championship, so they each represent. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because that only makes sense. If you have 2 guys coming out with the 4 championships, that's just really bad.
Yeah.
Hi, Barry.
Yeah. He's downstairs right now, and you're hearing that.
But yeah, I'm wondering what other surprises there's going to be during this match. I kind of have high hopes for Miles Bourne in his match. Like, what I would like to see is maybe they go down 3-1 or something, and he brings it back to the brink of winning.
Yep.
And we could see a lot of stuff. There's going to be, I think, some surprises during this.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, could this be the moment Joe Hendry fully commits to NXT now? Do we see one of these special, or at least Jordan Grace somehow be involved, and just as more than a referee and being physically involved in that match?
And do we see a from anyone who hasn't been involved yet, who hasn't been, who isn't working for either company but has in the past?
Do we possibly see Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green on TV together?
That could be fun. That could be a lot of fun.
I just wish she was still the United States champion then. Because I would love to see how that would work and just how they played it online.
Hold on.
I would love to see
Marina Shafir and Roderick Strong face to face a couple weeks ago.
I don't know. Well,
no, wait a minute.
Are those 2 dating?
They're married.
They're married? Oh, okay.
Who's married?
Idea.
Marina Shafir and Roderick Strong.
I had no idea about that.
They had a confrontation a couple weeks ago, and the announcers kind of like, I forget what Taz said.
They kind of glazed over it.
Yeah, they like mentioned it somehow, because they were staring each other down, like they were all lined up and staring each other down, and yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go on.
Oh no, you're good, man. I think this show's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to be head to head with AEW and Title Tuesday, which will be very interesting as well. Even though I've always, my opinion, I feel like ratings are only a piece of the entire puzzle as a whole now. Because I think there's a lot of fans who also just consume the highlights now on like YouTube and stuff like that, or watch a YouTube channel like ours here. So please go like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm. And it helps us build this channel to bigger and better things. And just as a reminder real quick, next week we will be debuting and simulcasting also on Twitch at BJDG Talk Wrestling.
Yeah. I think did that pretty much wrap up our discussion for what to expect from the showdown this week.
I think there's some surprises in store. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I think this is the first of a handful of shows we're going to get together. I haven't looked recently, but I'll actually look now to see if TNA has announced.
Lay down.
Oh, excuse me. Their next set of tapings, because after I think this week there's no tapings, or after Bound for Glory, and it's been rumored they could run out of the Performance Center with this whole angle still.
Okay.
That would make sense if they just went full force into this whole thing, and just like, any storylines that are just for the promotion were, put aside, and it was just all about this for a while.
Yep.
We'll see.
Let's see here. Bound for Glory. No, so from after Bound for Glory, October 12th, there is no announced venue until November 13th, a month later, which, ironically enough, that set of tapings the next 2 days, or the next 3 tapings, are 2 from Full Sail. Oh, I'm sorry, all 3 are from Full Sail University.
Okay.
On the 13th, the 14th, and 15th of November. But before that, their last announced venue is Massachusetts and Lowell for Bound for Glory.
Well, they'll probably get a couple tapings out of that.
Let's see here. They have taping there the night before. No, that's not even a taping. So no, there is no taping.
Okay.
They don't have it up there at all.
Interesting.
Going into next week. So that means that whatever taping they've done has been done all the way leading up to Bound for Glory.
Right. Which is what, another
Next Saturday.
No. Well, after that, between that and so we have about a month to fill.
Yeah, so which would almost make sense if they were possibly going to run live weekly out of the Performance Center.
True.
That would 3 live shows from there to where both these brands could be appearing, and you could literally have a 1-month war.
Sure.
When can you say we've ever seen something like that in wrestling?
Yeah.
That wasn't a one night only event.
Yep.
Like that's building the Forbidden Arena. You're walking out the Forbidden Door into the Forbidden Arena.
Could work.
Like, I would love to see this culminate in some type of Worlds Collide event. I would love to even see AAA somehow get involved in this. Like, why aren't we being mentioned in this? You know, like, actually see all 3 of these, because they're the lower brands. WWE doesn't really want to mix the main roster, even though a lot of us fans probably think there are guys who should. Because it would be interesting to see the New Day jump over to TNA for a little bit. That would be very interesting.
Sure.
A lot of fresh matchups.
There'd be a lot of guys I would want to see involved in this from the main roster.
And vice versa. There's guys we would want to see from, like, TNA. Oh, like, imagine Moose on the main roster. A Moose and Braun Breaker match.
Oh,
Sure.
it'll happen.
That would be absolutely great. But yeah, NXT is probably going to be the best show this week, I think. I'm already going to say I think Showdown. I think Title Tuesday will be a good contender. We also have not counting Crown Jewel Saturday night, because we have go home shows. Wow, we pretty much have go home shows all week, if you think about it. Because this is kind of a TNA go home part 1, because what impact does all this have on TNA Thursday night and then Bound for Glory? Oh, wow. I guess we should do a Bound for Glory prediction as well, huh?
Yeah.
Well. All these shows and things just, slip through the cracks sometimes.
Sure.
But we are catching it and we are here. That was an interesting noise. Stop making noises.
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know.
It was something.
He was all like, Alright, I got the matches up.
Yeah, went to their site and it's like kind of confusing.
All right, what do we got, BJ?
Alright. Leon Slater versus Javon Evans, singles match for the TNA Activity.
I'm going with Javon.
Wow.
Started out with a tough one there.
You know what? I think Leon Slater retains.
I'm going to agree with DG. Yeah, I think Leon Slater is going to retain.
All right.
But I think that's the match of the night on that card.
Pause.
We'll see. We'll see as we get down further in the list.
We've got the Inspiration, Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay, the champions, take on the Elegance Brand, Heather by Elegance and M by Elegance with the Personal Concierge, a rematch for the TNA Knockouts World Championship.
Inspiration retains.
Same. We got a 20-person intergender call your shot gauntlet. Do we have a list? We do not. We have 2 official entrants.
Hold on. I'm looking on their site now as well to confirm.
The former
Who's
Xia Li Ying Lee and Mace.
Yep.
Yeah, we know that because she won that match, giving her the final spot. So that could be anybody.
And the winner receives a trophy that's pretty much like a Money in the Bank contract.
Yeah, Kaz just used his a couple months ago.
So I guess we can't really pick, but we can throw out a wild guess.
I'm gonna
Oh wait,
go
hold on.
with-
Mance
I'm gonna-
Warner's no. I'm sorry, Mance Warner's number 20.
Yeah, Mance Warner. Yeah.
No, I said it wrong. I said Li Ying Lee was number 20.
Oh,
I was just
right,
correcting
right.
myself.
So I'm gonna go with Jake something.
Okay.
Well,
Did you-
that's something.
He's been under the tutelage of Kaz recently. I think maybe he's learned a little something to learn how to be something.
You know what? Mustafa Ali.
Okay.
Okay.
Eric Young.
I had
all
him
right.
in my head. So anybody from NXT that could win it.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some of them in there.
I'm sticking with Jake something.
You know what? I'm going to give a pick just in case NXT guys are included in this. Obafemi.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Nah, I'm going to go Eric Young.
All right.
Next up, the wonderful and talented Tessa Blanchard taking on Gia Miller in a singles match.
Yeah, it's going to be Tessa, sadly.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tessa's going to win. But hopefully there will be some fun chants during that match.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think this is going to be one of those things where somehow Tessa still has to cheat to win.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah. Victoria
No,
Crawford's
but
going to be involved.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those things where it looks like Gia Miller should win it and doesn't.
Right, yeah.
I don't see it that way. I think it's going to be Gia's going to have a couple good moves in places, but Tessa's going to more or less dominate this whole thing, and Victoria is just going to get involved just because she can.
I could see that going either way, but definitely Tessa wins.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. We are all in agreement on that.
Next up, we have The System featuring Moose, Alicia Edwards, Brian Myers, and Eddie Edwards, and JDC against Order 4.
Oh, hold on.
Mustafa Ali, Tasha
Damn.
Steele, Special Agent Zero, Jason Hotch, and John Schuyler in a 10-person intergender Order 4.
Just real quick, I might have to change my pick for a thing because I didn't realize Mustafa Ali was already on the card.
Right.
So yeah, that takes.
So
that
we'll stick.
pick
Yeah,
away.
we'll stick.
In a hardcore.
We'll talk about this at the moment. We'll swing it back around for that.
Fair enough, fair enough.
So I am picking Order 4 or the System. Order 4 or the System. I'm going with Order 4.
I agree.
Yeah, I got to go with our girl Tasha in Order 4.
Also, just real quick, this year because TNA does for Bound for Glory their Hall of Fame every year. Usually, there were a couple of years I don't think they did it, But this year, the beautiful people and Mickey James are being inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah.
Their first ever all women's class that they're doing, the first class that they've done with multiple women in it at all. So congratulations.
I definitely support that. They all deserve it.
Yep. All right. What's the next match we got listed here?
So we got Knockouts World Champion Kalani Jordan versus Indy Hartwell singles match.
I like indie wrestling.
Oh man, it's always tough picking against the champion in their first title defense.
I'm doing it.
Because would it make sense? Yes. But now this is where we come in. What happens on Tuesday? You know, like, what's her status after that match? Like, what side of the line is she on?
Indy or
Right.
Kalani?
Yes. Both of them, really.
Yeah. So, nope, I'm going with Indy.
I'm going to go Kalani.
You know, how much I don't think she drops it just out of willing it into the universe because she deserves it. Indy Hartwell.
All right. Next up, tables match for the TNA World Tag Team Championship. Team 3D, Bully Ray and Devon, against the Hardys, Matt and Jeff Hardy.
I think the Dudleys finally win a tables match against the Hardys.
So tough to call.
All right. So this is where Tuesday night really comes into play now.
Yeah.
Do the Hardys, because now if the Hardys are champions going into that match, it's almost the same thing, right? Hardys.
I don't think it matters either way. Personally, I'm picking the Dudleys either way if the Hardys come in as champs or not.
Well, no, I was going to say, but what if they come in as champs and then the NXT Tag Team Championships are also on the line in that match?
They won't be.
No.
This is just a TNA event. This is not NXT authorizing the belts to go on to
Bully
the Dudleys.
Bully, he could be he's probably working and everything, but he did kind of tease it on Busted Open. The idea of it, and which could be a thing, because they could be like, well, they're defending those championships, and they just defended them, and they just won those championships at the same exact time.
Yeah, but this is also a built-in way that they could split the belts up, the TNA and NXT belts.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the Hardys would just have the NXT belts, and the Dudleys could have the TNA belts until they say, okay, we did what we came here to do, and here's your belts back. Thank you. That's how I see it playing out, at least.
Either way.
We know what my pick was. I picked the Hardys to beat Dark State, so this follows the storyline that I've picked here.
I think the Dudleys win. I really do. But I could see them also putting the Hardys over, but I'm going to go Dudleys in a table match one last time against the Hardys and getting that W.
Finally.
Gonna go Hardys.
Okay.
Hardys walk out with all the gold.
Hardy party.
And finally, singles match for the TNA World Championship. We have Tricky William, the champion, versus Mike Santana, the challenger.
Looking forward to this one, and I don't think Mike Santana brings that bell home to TNA yet. Trick Williams, I think, keeps it.
I'm going to agree with you there. I think it's going to be Tricky William.
I feel like they've been building up Mike Santana to win this. Like, it really
Which
feels
is why he's
like
going to lose.
But I feel like we've already sat through that from the initial build-up, and this was the bounce back to get back there.
Yeah, and he's going to lose again.
I think Trick retains here, but sometime in the next couple weeks, he does drop the title to Santana. I think it becomes more of making something happen that's special, because that's one of the last things TNA would have to do is get their championships back.
Yep.
To actually be the called winners. So,
Right. So they're not at that point yet. So that's why I think Trick Williams keeps the belt this time.
but then if it's not Santana, like now
I'm
you
not
have
saying
to,
it's not Santana. I'm just saying it's not now.
I'm just saying after 2 failed attempts.
Uh-huh.
Now, could whoever wins the Call Your Shot gauntlet, they can cash in right away. They don't have to wait.
Best of my knowledge, that's correct.
Which I still have to pick a winner for that from TNA.
Yeah, because your Mustafa Ali pick is now realized to be invalid.
Back around to
Not
that.
necessarily invalid, but that's not a match where you see
Yeah,
a lot of
not
people
a-
play
not a smart
double
pick.
duty.
Yeah, he's in
not
a
smart.
hardcore match that night. He's not going to be in a gauntlet also.
Yeah, that would be a silly call.
I
You
mean,
can
unless
still
he
make
could-
it if you want, but
Unless he Chris Jericho's it.
hey, you never know.
You know what? I'm
No,
probably
what?
wrong, but you know what? I'm going to stick with Obafemi.
Sure.
Because,
That would open up some possibilities.
especially with everything happening, because what if Obafemi knocks off Trick and then something happens in a multi-man match at the end of all this where Oba doesn't have to take the pinfall.
Yeah.
And now Oba's just there because Trick couldn't get the job done. Because the
Sure.
match they had deserves a rematch. Regardless if it's for 2 titles or not.
Yeah.
But all right.
Huh. Wow. That's that.
Hour and a half in, and we barely mentioned the main roster at all.
There's not really much to mention on main roster this
Honestly,
week. It was
no,
really
I-
the weakest. Yeah. Main
I-
roster's been the weakest of everything lately.
I gotta say, I really enjoyed Sami Zayn's open challenge. That was attempted to be answered by Carmelo, but then Miz came out and gave him a skull-crushing finale. Break.
Yeah, we finally have that breakup.
And then who walks out? Aleister Black and says, "I'll take it." And they had one of the craziest matches I've seen in a long time until Priest came out and costed Black the match.
yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
can we talk about how Sami Zayn's won a third open challenge match with a Blue Thunder
Blue Thunder Bomb.
for the third
In a row. Yeah.
week in a row?
Yeah, it's now a actual finishing move.
Like I don't know what to do with myself now.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Everything I know is a lie.
Kayfabe is gone. The Blue Thunder Bomb works.
He fixed it.
But honestly, it looks like a pretty devastating move that would end the match.
It always
Yes.
should have.
Yeah, it always should. Yeah, right, exactly.
Like not even on the indies does that get used as a finisher. That's where we're at. All right. But all right, so a match that stuck out for me this week: Dirty Dom and Rusev for the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I had
Dom was gonna sneak out of there with that win, though.
I just love that the ref caught him trying to pull the Eddie.
Yeah, he got caught, but still snuck out with the win.
In a bit
See how
of a
much longer he
shocker,
can keep weaseling
Yeah.
his way out.
we a bit of a shocker. We had Raquel defeat Bailey.
Yeah, I mean Raquel should be able to
No,
hold her
just
own in
at the
these types
moment,
of matches
With the
but-
Bailey storyline going,
But yeah,
you know.
well, I mean, this plays into Bailey's broken
Yes,
psyche. though.
absolutely. And then the whole thing with her and I can't wait for them to get to the match with her and Lyra.
Yeah, they're drawing it out.
LA Knight and Kofi Kingston was all right.
It happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seth Rollins comes out, talks about his stuff with Cody and everything, talks about how he's never beaten Cody Rhodes one-on-one. Is this another mountain to conquer for him?
Could be.
You know, like getting back to that championship.
Well, we'll find out in Perth.
I did really enjoy that whole segment, though, because they really went over their history for anybody who just might not have been familiar. It was nice callbacks to everything. To Seth being Cody's shield when he didn't have to be. And I love the idea of everything with this even spilling into Friday night, where you see Rollins questioning himself. You know, especially when it comes to Cody.
Yeah.
And he should have questioned harder because he went to go take a cheap shot on Cody. Heyman tried to tell him not to.
On Friday night, the missed curb stop.
Ended up getting caught.
So be it.
We also had announced that at Crown Jewel, Io and Rhea versus the Kabuki Warriors.
Yep. Yeah.
We also had announced Dragon Lee is the #1 contender to Dom's AAA Mega Championship.
Okay.
AJ talked about his match against John Cena at Perth for Crown Jewel.
Yeah, how the fans actually made that happen because John Cena helped them.
We had AJ Styles and Dragon Lee then go on to defeat Los Grande. Which now I don't even know what's going on with these guys. Like now they have names.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, was it Ryo and no?
Rojo and Azul. I don't know, red and blue.
Ren and Stimpy, Tom and Jerry.
Those Grandes.
Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
They did mention how people were silly for thinking that Grande was Chad Gable at this point. Again.
I can't wait for Chad Gable to return.
Yeah. Didn't realize how much he was missed on the show until, you know.
Rayo? Bravo and Rayo.
Bravo and Rayo. Okay, sure.
I don't know which is which. I can't tell them apart.
Yeah, not sure. I think Rayo would be red and Bravo would be blue, would be my guess. And then Grande.
You know what? That makes sense. You know what? I'll ride with it just because I don't feel like finding out to know better or not. I've had to do enough looking up of stuff.
Done.
The Usos versus the Bronze in a street fight and a tornado tag. I actually really enjoyed the match.
It was fine.
Yeah. Again, it's not the fact of the show's necessary WWE's putting on. It's the fact that they're too cookie cutter.
Yeah.
And I'm glad people are finally coming around to this, especially you guys, because I've been saying it forever that I felt like they were already getting there at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
You know, but it was understandable at that point because it was the Netflix debut. They were establishing just that, and then just seeing that. Oh wow!
Right.
You
now
really just look at the you
every
look
show's
at
just got that format.
You look at this flavor, and you're like, this is the flavor across the board. Besides that other small company, let them do them. We still own them. It's okay. Referring to NXT.
Yeah.
I loved Roman's return. Like, I think that's a little bit of something kind of needed for Jay at the moment. Just like on a mental level, because Jay's kind of been all over the place. If they're not going to turn them heel, they need something to wheel him back in before the heel turn happens.
Yeah.
You know, and it would be interesting to see that. What if instead of Roman turning on Jay, what if it's Jay that turns on Roman, and this time not in splitting up the bloodline like it happened before? Like, legit beat down.
Yeah. I don't see it coming.
But we all know that this is usually how these things go, is in this route. I kind of hope it doesn't, because I kind of want to see somewhere along the line the 6-man tag of the Bloodline versus the Vision.
Yeah.
I think it's a natural match for them to have, like when the Shield reunited to take on Evolution.
Yeah.
You know, it just was one of those things, and it would be just history repeating itself in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, and then SmackDown this week, we talked about the whole Cody thing. We get him and Orton in the beginning of the show. Heyman and the Bronze come out. We get a tag team match set up for all that. Oh, yeah. We already talked about the whole Mello Miz U.S. Open Challenge. So Ruka and Zarya were on the show this week on SmackDown, defeated Chelsea Green and Alba Fire.
Yep, getting a win on the main roster.
We had a contract signing for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship match where it didn't get violent until Kiana James and Julia came out well after. Props for a contract segment not ending in violence and somebody going through a table.
Yeah, it feels like that's heading towards a tag team match for this coming week before the actual match between the champions.
Yeah, and interestingly, you have Kiana James and Julia offer their services to Stephanie McHugh.
Yeah, it didn't seem to be really interested in their services, though.
I feel like there's going to be a tag team match with that at some point, probably on SmackDown in Perth.
Yeah, like I said, this week before the...
Yeah. We have Javon Evans on SmackDown this week as well. Him and Rey Fenix defeat Legado del Fantasma.
Yep.
The Jacob Fatu video package. That was really good. Like, this week has had a lot of good video packages this week.
Yeah.
The interview with Priest was good with the challenge laid out for Aleister Black.
Mm-hmm.
The solo video package. So, over the last couple of weeks, he's been reintroducing us to all the members of his faction, one by one. And, you know, he's at, plus him, it would be 4. But as this one ends this week, seems like he teases that there's one more person.
Yeah. So,
To me,
could it be now?
Is it a return of, who is it, Tagaloa?
see, that's the obvious.
Sometimes it's the obvious one, right?
Yeah.
Because what else would there be for him to do when he returns? Join the group he was already rejoin the group he was a part of already?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll bring back Haku, and he'll be the last member.
The
That's
Ghost of
gotta be
Umaga.
Ming. Was always a fan of his.
Oh yeah, and I'm also a fan of the stories about him. And,
Yes.
And there's live footage of him like trying to murder Simon Miller that is absolutely hilarious. That cracks me up every time. And Simon Miller's not shy about replaying it, you know, during his videos.
Yeah, and a surprising twist. We had the Bronze defeat Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes in the main event after an assist from Seth Rollins, where he initially hits the curb stop on Orton.
I have a question. Does it feel like Bronson Reed is being pushed more than Braun Breaker with this whole arrangement?
No.
It feels like they take turns of who's getting more of a push from a week-to-week basis.
I feel like Bronson Reed's being booked as the monster of the group, while Breaker's being groomed to be the future of who's going to carry the brand for the next 10 years type deal. Because he has that star power with him.
Yeah, because they have been like slow and steady with Braun, and with Bronson it's been more just like hit or miss, like he's either a monster or he's getting beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But
I
no, I feel like they're playing their roles as they should within this group.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I heard that at some point during the week, and I just was wondering what your take on it would be.
No, not at all. I feel like they're being equally pushed as they should be in the roles. You know, Bronson Reed's just that monster guy.
Yep.
Like, those tsunamis look devastating every time. And you get him in the ring, somebody equal with him.
Well, he's picked up some quality wins lately. And
yeah.
Breaker hasn't really.
Because,
that's fair.
But most of those have also been tag team matches. As compared, so they're both still picking. Like, they beat the Usos at WrestlePalooza. The Usos picked back up the win on Raw, which is fine, whatever. It took Roman coming out for them to pick up the win. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking at like that, you know, they almost beat Jay and Roman. You know, and I said it then. I'm like, they were still over in that loss because they still looked like monsters. And they were the team that was able to communicate better.
And I just like how this group is able to function without all the parts. I mean, you only need one piece, honestly. And, you know, it can infect the entire show.
Yeah. So, I guess now it is time for predictions for Crown Jewel.
All right, I'll get up that card.
I have it here.
Well, just for my own personal reference.
So we're up to picking Crown Jewel.
Yeah, I see 4 matches at the moment.
Which means we'll get one more made this week because that's the 5-match format for these things now.
Yeah, so we'll be missing a match, but that's okay. Because who really keeps track of this stuff anyway? Some weird stat guy that watches everything on YouTube. That's who. So, first match I'm going to start with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors.
I'm going Kabuki Warriors.
I'm going with Rhea and Io in her home country.
Part of the reason I'm picking Kabuki Warriors is because it's in Australia.
They're not. Rhea's not Jim Ross.
Io turns on Rhea, Kabuki Warriors win, or not even necessarily turns on her, but just accidentally maybe costs them the victory.
Somehow,
she's conflicted whether or not to attack. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But yeah, I'm gonna say Kabuki Warriors.
I don't think this feud is over, but
no.
But I think Rhea will pick it up there. It would be interesting to see the Kabuki Warriors win it, but we've already seen Asuka use the mist twice. And if I've learned anything by now, the faces are going to pick up on it and be ready for it.
Should be.
You know, what I would expect is Rhea Io win, the Kabuki Warriors beat them down after the match, story continues. But they'll pick up the win. She'll pick up the win at home in Australia. Next, a match that the fans willed into existence. John Cena versus AJ Styles. One more time.
I would like to see nothing more than AJ Styles beat up John Cena. John Cena ain't going out like that. This is one of his last matches. Cena wins.
I agree with BJ on pretty much every point there. I think it's going to be a good match, but yeah, Cena's getting the W.
Didn't AJ beat Cena already?
Oh, yeah, he has.
Okay, yeah. John Cena picks up the win then. Yeah. I just had to ask that question real quick, just to
make sure.
Yeah.
Let me just look it up just to make sure, but go on.
Yes,
I'm sure they've both got wins against each other.
Next, match I do believe we got to see in NXT, we will now be seeing on the main roster. The Women's World Champion, Stephanie Vakir, taking on the WWE Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship.
I don't think we did get this match in NXT. I don't think we got this match in NXT at all. I think Tiffany had bumped up to main roster by the time Stephanie got there.
Styles has beaten Cena at Money in the Bank 2016, SummerSlam 2016, and Cena beat Styles at Royal Rumble 2017 and on a SmackDown in 2018.
So they're 2-2.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cena's going to walk out with that third win.
Yeah. But yeah, so who do you guys have? Stephanie Bakir?
I got Stephanie.
Or the woman who has not been pinned in WWE in all of 2025, Tiffany Stratton.
This is her first pin. Stephanie's got this.
I'm going to go Tiffy.
So the streak lives on for 2025.
I believe so.
I'm going Stephanie. I think right now it means more to her. And Tiffany taking a loss in a match where her championship's not on the line against another champion doesn't necessarily hurt her any.
Correct.
And it'll also start showing the wear and tear of being champion and constantly having to wrestle Nia Jax.
Yes. That'll put wear and tear on your holes. Yeah, that was the right one there. That was the right one.
I would have had more reaction if I didn't have to burp at that exact moment.
Although the burp was probably a good reaction too.
And then we have what was most likely the main event of this show. Your undisputed WWE Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, taking on the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins, for the Men's Crown Jewel Championship. Seth Rollins, who has never in his life beaten Cody Rhodes in a one-on-one match.
Ain't going to happen today.
I think it's time. Cody's already got the one ring. I think Seth gets it this time.
I'm going Cody. Just the imagery of them slapping that giant belt on them, I think. I think that's going to.
Although, doesn't the belt stay in Saudi Arabia though, or
but they put it on.
Yes, the belt stays in the country, but this isn't in Saudi. This is in Perth, Australia. Just to remind you.
Yes.
And
which is so I don't expect to see the belt.
Well, I mean, that belt's the Crown Jewel Championship, so WWE can pull it out of that WWE experience because that's where it is being shown off. Bring it, or they just have a whole new championship for it, or they just stick with the rings at this point, and we see.
Saudis. Yeah, I thought the Saudis owned the belt and just kind of loaned it to WWE.
No, but then there's also a ring, and they did mention the ring in the promos and stuff. And since Cody is considered QB1, we're probably going. I think Cody Rhodes wins, and we get eventually the video or photograph of him putting on that second ring. Because I think this would have been different. Because you know what? I know Liv Morgan's been working out recently. Could we see Liv Morgan return at this event after the women's one? She is the original women's Crown Jewel champion.
I don't see a reason to send her all the way to Australia when there's a chance that she could get re-injured.
It's pro wrestling. There's always a chance of injury.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, if she's not fully back yet, and if she's not going to be fully back.
She's been training.
She's been training, but that doesn't mean she's ring ready. And so if she's not going to be ring ready for like Monday night, then why send her over to Australia?
Because you get her back on TV in a big spot.
Not worth it for me. I say just have her come back when they're back in the stateside.
Stephanie Bakir wins that, and then you have the original women's Crown Jewel champion coming out and saying her sights on the Women's World Championship.
They can do that on Monday night just as easy.
Yeah, but then you do it on the PLE. That's giving people a reason to tune in Monday night.
People will tune in Monday night anyway.
Yeah, but it's not about the regulars. It's about the other people who hey, Liv Morgan's going to be back? Okay. Oh, she's going after Stephanie Vakir, huh, to get back that championship? Okay, because there's other stories built into that because of the whole story with the Judgment Day. And a lot more lately in those Judgment Day backstage segments, they've been showing more of stuff of Liv. They had a photo up this past week in their locker room area or clubhouse or whatever it is. We've just been seeing more Easter eggs of it more than normal that I've been noticing. So I think that they're kind of building up to it. And as the original Crown Jewel, I wouldn't even be surprised if she's just there since she was the original first one. Cody Rhodes won the first one and he's getting to defend it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's possible, but I don't think it's likely that she shows up.
I was just proposing it as something that could happen.
All right.
Just given the situation. Because, hey, we had big surprises this past week on AEW, so you know WWE has to do something now.
Yeah.
Because, that's just how that works. So now, real quick, guys. Match of the week.
All right. Well, I'm going with the mixed tag match that was the main event of Dynamite this week with Darby and Chris Statlander versus Death Riders. Yeah, that was just an insane match. That's my match of the week.
Gotta go Sammy and Black. I mean, it went through like 3 commercial breaks. So many near falls. Just amazing match. Until, Priest came out and ruined it.
I'm going with the Usos and the Bronze from Monday night.
All right.
And just a special mention to the Inspiration and by Elegance. Because I thought that was a fantastic match. There was a lot of good this week.
Yeah. But it wasn't all on Monday and Friday.
No, definitely not.
Most of it was not on Monday or Friday. All right, gentlemen.
Interesting segment also. Sorry, just want to spit this out. Interesting segment with the Wyatt Six and the Street Profits.
Yeah. That whole backstage thing.
And
we heard Dexter Lumis talk.
Yeah, I know that. Last time I heard him speak was on Tacoma FD.
I think it's the first time I've ever heard his voice.
He didn't talk in TNA either when he was Sam Shaw.
No, he just did that creepy Dexter Lumis thing.
The like crawling thing, yeah. He was pretty much the same character.
Yeah. Absolutely was.
So it's good that he has found his voice.
Literally.
I definitely know this week I'm definitely looking forward to NXT, TNA stuff.
Absolutely.
There's
that's
a lot
the show I'm most looking forward to this week.
There's a lot of big shows this week. We got a combination of go-home shows and just bigger shows between AEW, NXT, and TNA alone. And not even including the main roster. There's going to be a lot of wrestling to watch this week, people.
Yep. Tuesday night, I'm planning on watching NXT TNA live and then moving AEW watching to Wednesday where it belongs.
Yeah, I'll be doing it the opposite. Just because I want it to just ruin my week and throw me all off.
Sounds about right for you.
Well, I can't watch it live anyway, so
that's fair.
I'll watch that Wednesday in place of AEW, and everything will be wrong.
Well then, everybody, have a good week. Enjoy your wrestling. Be safe out there. Be good to each other. Do some good in the world. Go help a chicken cross the street. And then you can finally ask why it crossed the street, and we can finally have our answer, Will that into the universe.
In the meantime, 1, 2, 3, ring the bell.
Everybody watching, I'm gonna need you to visit www.freakkings.com. Check out all the merch. And before you do that, I'm gonna need you to check out PJDG YouTube and Instagram. And while you're doing that, you won't have to remember the name, cause you'll remember the face.
We done